Okay, I'm starting recording. Hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we will speak about movie The Mist. Is it an old one or not? I don't remember.
2007.
So. Can we say that it's old? No, it's modern, right?
No, it's not.
2007's not that old, yeah.
Okay. And you know, I forgot to mention before in our pre-warm session that Sergey is going to pass English exam, and he asked us to be strict with his English too. So please, if you can write what you can notice in our chat or somewhere, we will help him, I guess, by our criticism.
Yep.
Okay, let's start with the movie. Sergey, as far as I mentioned you, can you start, please?
Yes. After the storm, painter David Drayton and his wife and children sold their yard. They saw that the big trees crashed their small building, and they had discussed about storm with a neighbor, black neighbor, and they discussed about the mist because they saw a strange mist around this village. After that, they solved to go to the shop for buying food, and they were traveling from the village to the shop. They noticed a lot of militaries who traveled opposite them. Yep.
Okay, in opposite direction. Okay, can we say discussed about or just discussed something? What is
Just
correct?
discussed.
Yeah, Sergey, I always hear that you say discussed about something. So it's just discussed, you know, fallen trees, discussed storm. Okay, it's only thing I heard, I noticed. Leila, could you continue, please?
Yeah. As Saget said, on the way they see a heavy mist, and their neighbor, if I'm not wrong, the lawyer, the Aaron's neighbor, I think, they went together to the supermarket to get some supplies, and they saw a lot of things on the way, as Saga mentioned. I'm not going to say it again. And then in the supermarket, a man arrives crying that there is something alive in the mist. And his face is full of scratches, bruises, and I can see blood streaming down his cheeks. So he was so scared, and everybody started to be scared. And the manager closes the front entrance. David and
Grant was the neighbor.
Some people. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. David and the others. If I'm not wrong, the back entrance or exit is open, so they went back to close the door. And what else? When they opened the back entrance, the cashier is sized, is the right word, Lee?
Seized
by tentacle.
Tentacle.
Right, tentacle. Oh, I'm trying to remember. And David and two survivors, they managed to close the loading door.
Okay.
Do you remember this giant tentacle? So it was like living creature, right? After they cut it, they still like trying to move or something.
How could it happen? You know, it's so interesting.
Would you like to meet such a beast or what? Or creature?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Well, I like octopuses, but I like it in my coffee, fried, not like this.
So now they know that there is somebody or something alive in the mist. So everybody, is so scared. Then that stupid woman, Mrs. Carmody, I think, she started preaching. I found the word, Lee, please help me. This is apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
Right. I found the meaning looking up the dictionary. It's the destruction. It's the destruction of the world.
The end of the world. You've never heard zombie apocalypse?
No.
Oh, you got to get outside more, Layla. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Soon the group discovers that they're under siege by bloodthirsty creatures.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Mad Max Fury. It's another movie, right? Under Siege.
Okay, let me give you a little treat. This is a baby rabbit.
Oi, so cute. I love it.
Yeah, small one, right?
Yeah, he'll jump away if I don't watch out. He's
Good.
Oh, so cute.
And what about Rambo?
the dogs are going crazy. Sorry to interrupt there.
Okay. Gerard, could you continue, please, with the story?
Okay. There is a woman in the supermarket who she's very obsessed with religion. She's very
Yes.
religious,
Miss Carmody.
Miss Carmody. And he is convincing people that that's the end of the world and that those creatures want to kill them all. And they find out that the reason of this mist was an experiment in the military base. So they open an interdimensional gate or something like this, and those creatures came to our world. And Mrs. Carmody instilled the guys to kill this soldier. And they throw him outside of the supermarket to just as a sacrifice to appease the creature.
Yeah.
The one that there is a big one that looks like a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we
I
see
remember
a woman.
some soldiers committed suicide, right?
Yes, on the basement.
Yeah.
That happened before.
But why they did this? What do you think? Why they committed?
Because they knew that the reason why that was happening, and maybe they thought there was no solution to the problem.
Yeah, but it's not what we expect from military, right? We expect from military to serve and protect, not to commit suicide immediately in danger,
Yes, at least use your life in a useful way. You have to do that.
We don't know if they killed themselves out of fear or out of guilt.
Could be guilt.
Anyway, looks strange, If you are military, if you made some case, please solve it or try to solve it, not just commit suicide. Vasants, please continue.
Yes, and where we exactly stopped, the lady was started preaching, right?
Yeah, so they are under siege, and we discovered that it was a military experiment, and some officers committed suicide, and people starting to make plans, I guess, what to do.
Yes, and they went to the nearby pharmacy and to get some medicine, and they encountered a lot of different species, bigger species. Then they even found some people dead in that pharmacy. They somehow managed to escape. In between that time, the lady got more audience, and they started to believe her preaching.
Yeah, do you remember that black guy? That black guy, they tried to convinced that there is something, you know, paranormal.
Mhm.
No, I like this scene. So you are, how to say that? You are shitting me here. It's not true. I don't believe.
So this big bloody tentacle, that's a movie prop. Yeah. Oh.
Yes, after that, they even killed one Jude. Boy, is that a Jude? Or how do we say that? He's a Jude, a boy, an army person,
A
a young
soldier.
man.
Soldier.
Yeah,
no?
a soldier. Yeah, he was bleeding, but they didn't care. They just started to attack him, and someone stabbed him to death, and they
Yeah.
even feeded him to the beast. They threw him out, and they fed him. So they fed the
And it's interesting that it was not only one who stabbed them, right? They all were like losing control. They all said, "Stop him," you know. So they forget about, I don't know, moral law immediately. So
But
and
do you think, Ivan, normal people can do something like that?
normal people do that all the time, I guess. So.
Thank you, Ivan.
Especially in Turkey during Purge Day.
No, no, no.
Oh,
You know,
Mhm. Please.
I don't think that this is true, but I could tell you this: anybody, anywhere in this world, who have fanatic ideas, who are, you know, obsessive in religion, they can do everything, Lee.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not only about religion, you know. People under pressure, they do stupid things. So they
But
start,
under pressure, why?
they're scared or something else. They believe in something, you know, abnormal. They just don't understand.
Ivan,
They
can
just,
you stab someone like that if you're under pressure? I
well,
can't.
well, you know, scientists say that in our mind we have like two parts: the monkey part and logical part. So when you under pressure, when you scared, when you, I don't know, in hard circumstances, you lose your logical part. You behave like a, you know, scared monkey. You do something stupid. So
Yeah,
and
they wrote survival instincts, but I can do this only for my son. You know, not for myself. Oh, no way.
well, people do it, you know, for coffee, for a cup of coffee, for $10, you know, over the world, you know. People do it just because they're scared, just because they believe in something. So, usually, am I right?
Yep. I took scuba diving lessons, learned how to scuba dive. And one of the things you have to learn in scuba diving is how to rescue a panicky diver on the surface of the water. And they caution you to approach the person and get behind them, to grab them from behind. And the reason is if you approach them from the front, they are in such a panic, they will grab you and climb up onto the top of your head to stay above the water, which pushes you underwater.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of times people die trying to help drowning people, because the drowning people are in such a panic, they push the other guy under to stay up. And so you have to be very careful. Survival instincts, man, all you think about is save yourself at anybody else's expense. So that's what we're seeing in this
you.
grocery store, I think.
Thank you. Lee 1, Leila 0.
No, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Also, I think the important factor is crowds. You know, when people are crowded, when they're in a crowd, they are not logical. So some idiots starting to do something and all follow. So like how we call it, sheeple. You know, sheep and people, sheeple.
Bird.
Masans, please.
yes, and the important factor is whether there is a crowd. If there is a crowd, somebody would like to stay neutral. That adds points to the negative thoughts. You know, even someone says some negative thought and someone keeps silent, then the spectator would think that he is supporting that ideology. So the indifference makes the worst part.
Yep. Right. So if you are not like showing what do you think, people, you know, think instead of you. They suppose that you support this stupid thing. Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's silly, but I could take a balloon and blow it up, walk into a movie theater and go and pop that balloon and people would die. Do you know why?
Why?
Panic. They would think it was a gunshot. Everyone would get up and run for the exit and try to squeeze through the exit, and people would fall down and be trampled to death.
Yeah.
It's
But
that
there
easy.
must be a way to control this. How we could control?
Well, you just stand up and go, fire, fire. Same thing. People will panic and run for the exit, and people will die on trying to get out. It's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it happens without, without a person who tried to do that. So
Right, right.
I shared once in Moscow. We had an accident when some people blocked actually road because he tried to pray on the road. So and crowd was normal, and people start to to stampede each other because metro has a lot of passengers, like million passengers.
Okay. Trying to get on the bus.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I can't miss the bus.
they just need room to exit from the metro, and there are people, and there are other people. So it's crowds are very dangerous, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, let's continue. I forgot where we stopped. But Sergey, do you remember?
Not.
Okay,
No,
let's
no, no.
start.
They
Ah,
killed
yeah.
the soldier, Sergey. They killed the soldier.
Yes, and if we talk about discussion with prop head, and I forgot her name, and the soldier when they returned from drug shop, and
Yeah.
the prop head told, "This is you organized our problem," and she started to talk about soldier, and people started to have panic, and after that they wanted to kill him, but instead of they put him outside the supermarket, and obviously the octopus eat him.
Ate him.
Ate him, yeah. But it's an interesting moment because I like this soldier because he's a young.
Oi.
Yes, we have some love story between shop assistant,
Oi.
but they have ugly death both, and insect eat girl, and octopus ate boy, and convenience were ugly with neck. I can't explain. I can't explain.
Okay,
but
let's find a few adjectives. So what can be disgusting? What else?
Swollen, torn out.
Torn out. Okay.
yeah.
Maybe her body couldn't tolerate the insect poison, I think.
And
Exploded. Yeah.
the interesting moment when I watched this movie, I can understand that they have the script problems, but you when you watch the similar movie, you understand the main character would be alive after that. But this movie, the main character started to kill during this first part of movie.
So,
It's not American style, I think.
I mean, you mean that main character was killed like in the beginning, right? In the beginning of the story. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Vasant, please.
Yes, teacher Lee, what does that mean? Sullen. No, swollen means getting bigger, but sullen
Yeah.
means
Yeah, getting bigger. Yeah.
okay.
Like when you injure yourself, your joint gets bigger,
Swollen, right.
swollen.
sullen,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Swollen.
sullen. Yes,
Yeah.
L-L-E-N.
To swell, swelled.
Yeah, teacher Lee, there is another word in our chat, sullen. I guess. I don't
Oh,
know.
sullen. Sullen is sad.
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 Okay. I see. Okay, Sergey, thank you. Leila, could you continue? Let's finish the story.
Let's finish the story, right? And then David and some people tried to escape from the crowd after they had witnessed the terrible scene, how they killed the soldier in such a merciless way. And then the woman, that stupid woman, the fanatic one, had the control of the others. And while everybody was sleeping, they tried to just leave. They could manage. They could have managed. So they think that it's a chance. It was a chance. Anyway, she wasn't sleeping. She had a knife in her hand, and she started, talking in such a strict way that you can't leave. I am in control and I'm not allowing you to leave. So what I remember it, there is the chaos then, and everybody started, just fighting, and that shop assistant with I don't remember his name, with the glasses, who shoots very well. He killed her.
Yeah, his name was Oli, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oliver, Ollie.
Ollie, yes, sweet Ollie. Shoot Carmody. I'm so happy in that scene. And
Die, liberal, die.
yes, yes.
Vasant, please.
Yes, today I read about a study from Stanford University, and that is a famous one from 1970s. It's called Stanford Prison Experiment, I think.
Yeah. I tried to tell you
Yeah,
told Ishli about this. Yeah, it's a Stanford Prison Experiment. Yeah, so how people divide because of like mythical power. Yeah, they don't have this power. They just have a star. I give you a star of of a policeman, and you start to behave like a policeman.
You're the head boy
yeah.
in
So
Harry Potter.
that's what made Mrs. Carmody to behave like, to take all the power to kill someone.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. God made me his deputy. Yeah.
Well, it's a very common thing, I would say. Many people, many religious people, and not religious people as well, they think that are in power to regulate your life just because they have some beliefs or ideas or something else. Yeah, that's right. So I remember some episode with a big rope. So one guy decided to go outside to some van to get, I guess, weapon, and he looked like, I don't know how to describe it. He looked like not hippie, but something like how we call these people on the motorbikes.
Just a motorcyclist.
Yeah, he was like from a gang, of motorcycles. So he's a
Thug, gang member or thug.
Yeah, so, yeah, and he was with a strong character, and he said, "So put this rope across me. So attach me to this rope, and you will know what will happen with me. Nothing good. So Beast ate the half of the upper half of
Ivan, thank you.
around his waist. Yeah.
I close my eyes.
Yeah, but it was interesting how rope was fast. How to say it? Tight fast, right? So when Beast started to eat him probably, or just to grab him, it was like a normal speed of this rope. I like it. I like this episode.
I was scared, and he was thinking the speed of the rope.
Yeah.
Well, when the rope is going slow, suddenly it goes fast, and then it goes slack, and you pull it back in quick. It's strange. It's like, what's going on out there?
Yeah, but it's kind of unlogical. Do you remember that when they pull this rope back, it was red of blood, but there is like no blood at this part of rope. There should not be.
Why illogical?
Just think about it. So why this blood, started 1 kilometer before this guy?
I asked because I closed my eyes.
Okay, just imagine experiment. You have a rope and a dead body on the end of it, and you start to pull this rope, and in the middle of the rope, you suddenly see the blood, right?
Yeah. Doesn't make sense unless he got rolled up like a yo-yo.
If something was playing with this that
Yeah.
body, right? Okay. Yeah, what would be the verb when we put the rope in this circle way, just to like a cowboy, cowboy.
It's like coil the rope.
Coil the rope. Okay, so probably Beast was coiling the rope just for fun, Okay, Gerard, what do you like it in the movie? What is your favorite scene? Gerard, are you here?
At the beginning of the movie, we saw the protagonist with some paintings.
Something bad happened. Okay, Gerard, something bad happened with your internet and we almost lost you.
I hear you.
Let's wait a bit, maybe.
The
It will
sound
be,
is very loud.
it
Can you
will
hear me
get
properly?
better. It's better now, yeah.
Oh,
Something wrong. Okay, let's ask for something.
now it's okay. It's okay.
Ah, okay, please.
Okay.
No, it's not.
No, okay.
Well, internet in the whole world is overloaded because all the people stay home, all the people watch Netflix, all these things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. If you notice it, we have a low quality in Zoom conference now because Zoom lowered bandwidth for a reason. Yeah. Okay, Vasan, so could you please continue with the story and finish it if you can?
Yes, and the main David and his son and 3 of the fellow mates decided to go out. They managed to evade the Antichrist kind of group, and they took a car and they traveled as much as they could. They eventually found that David's wife was dead, and eventually the car stopped due to the lack of fuel. And at the time, they decided they understood that they had nowhere to go, so they decided to kill each other with the gun they had, but they had only 4 bullets in that gun. So David took the responsibility and killed all the rest of the 4 people and decided to come out and gave himself to the beast, to sacrifice himself to the beast. But surprisingly, the mist started to disappear, and the army people were marching towards somewhere, and now they also rescued so many people in the town. And he realized that he made a mistake, and he cried why it has to be them. So why? Because they didn't do anything wrong, so why they had to die? So something like that. The movie ends.
In such a stupid way.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a stupid way? So Leila, was the guy right that he killed his own son or not?
No way.
What he should have done?
Look, you are more logical than me, okay? I'm going to just give an answer, then you will give your answer. If you were in the same situation, what would you do, okay? I wouldn't do anything like that. I couldn't kill people. But what I would do is to wait for the monster and eat me. There's nothing I could do. I couldn't kill any other people. What about you?
Well, I guess it's not about logic, I don't believe that anyone in this situation will follow logic, We will be scared, we will be goof.
But come
brilliant
on,
dude.
there could be some decision makers on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, you cannot go, you cannot make a good decision in these circumstances. I
Would you
believe so.
kill your own son?
No, of course not.
No way.
I would wait for monsters. I would try to
Hey,
hide.
we agree.
I would try to hide or something else. But you know how we say when until it's until it ends, it's not ended. You know, so you still have a chance. So committing suicide or committing, as teacher Liv wrote, euthanasia. How we call this?
Euthanasia.
Euthanasia. Yeah. So we commit euthanasia or we do euthanasia. What we how?
Commit.
So committing euthanasia, it's something unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
I cannot imagine when it should be a good decision. You know, something strange.
But yeah, Lee.
The difference is the idea is you can have a quick death now or a slow death later.
Yeah, I understand, but you know, we can do that today. You know, so I decided to make it today, not to check what will happen.
That's right.
Okay, Gerard, what we miss? Tell us something important.
At the beginning of the movie, we see the protagonist doing some paintings. You remember?
Yep.
So those paintings are from novels of Stephen King novels.
Mm-hmm.
The principal one, the main one, that there is a gunslinger with a tower behind him. It's the Dark Tower series. There are a series of novels, even, and there is a movie about it.
Okay.
And also there was another one, I think it was The Shining, like a guy with a lot of light.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
man.
Noticed that Gerard. Great.
Yeah, I read many books and many movies from Stephen King.
Okay.
We call those Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Well, actually, I read only one his book. It was It, I believe. And
It's very scary.
very scary. And after that, I decided it's not my type of literature. And moreover, I would
No,
I would
IT. IT.
Oh, it. Okay, the clowns. Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
would
clown.
recommend to Stephen King to have some medication or something. You know? Sounds, please.
Yes, and once the movie ends, it was really disappointing because it is not the movie I expected from Hollywood. Usually, the typical Hollywood movie would have the adventurous ending. You know, the protagonist would kill all the aliens, they would get rid of them. But this one has no explanation of the disappearance of those aliens, the creatures, and they even killed the important characters in the movie. So somehow disappointing, the endings.
Well, yes, it's not an action movie and it doesn't have, you know, everything explained. But there are no music, right? Only a few motifs, so no music, no dances at all. So not good.
Come on, the tentacle part was dancing.
Okay, Sergey, what did you like in the movie? What you don't say? Tell us.
I don't like the special effects because it was not good for our time. But it was interesting relationships between people because okay, we have the script holes, but we have the good examples of relationships in a critical situation. You did discuss about it, but we can to see people when a person when he have difficult choice, and several times during this movie, and I think that we see the Oli when he killed women who was religion, but I started to understand about our situation, and I think that we have to try to be a human, but in the critical situation, because the critical situation will end. After that, we have a lot of problem with investigation of police, with investigation our relationships between people. It's a difficult moral choice for me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So any circumstances will pass eventually, but your guilt will be your guilt, right? Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hassan, please.
Yes, and I wanted to say that movie watching experience is not the same as it was a couple of months ago. No, especially the point when a guy, an elderly man with the bleeding nose, running towards the shop, and I was like, "Do not let him enter inside." You know, he must be contagious. It subconsciously it came to my mind, and I realized, okay, this is 2007. Then they would let him in, so something like that. It was a fun one.
Yep, yep. Probably we will change. You know, who knows if coronavirus will stay with us? I don't know. 5 years more, we will never have. I don't know, parties anymore, or concerts, or something. You know, people will communicate from a safe distance. You know, hi.
Bye bye.
Bye. Tell
Here's
me,
a swab. Swab your nose and let me see the result. If it's pink, you get in. If it's, red, you stay outside. Yeah.
Okay. Don't come here. Just write me a mail. You know.
Ivan, don't say that in front of Donald Trump that the virus will stay with us 5 years because he would fire you. You're fired.
Thanks.
Okay, maybe long. You know, maybe forever.
Thank you, Ivan.
No problem. We're welcome. Okay, we have 7 questions on our Padlet. Let's start to cover some. So first one, what is the moral of this story? What is the moral? Gerard, what do you think?
The moral of the story, keep your hope until your last moment.
Right. I agree with that. Very much agree. I'm very agree. Okay. Anything else? There are many small morals, I think. There are many subplots, and we usually mentioned at least 6, right?
Yeah. The soldier girl romance, had some obstacles to overcome. I guess the boss and the man wanted to go to war, so to speak, and she didn't want him to leave, and he dies, and heartbreak, that little plot, like the star-crossed lovers that weren't meant to be together. At the beginning, Stephanie, the wife, didn't want to go to town with him. She decided to stay home, and that resulted in her death, a horrible death for her. So that's just kind of a fateful decision that you don't see the result of until later. The religious thing and the non-religious or not so religious. The Ollie and the Carmody thing. Ollie was, capable of killing someone if they were a threat to him. So a little bit of inner courage, maybe. David and his desperation at the end, we've decided that was probably not a decision we would have made. And the other one, I guess, is humanity under crisis, under pressure, as Ivan keeps saying. Are we going to be our best, or are we going to be our worst?
First, right.
Yeah.
Worst,
So
obviously. Yeah. We have a saying in Russia, you don't have to run faster than a bear. You have to run faster than someone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Okay, Gerard, please.
Yes, I think we can talk about at the beginning of the movie when David explains to his black neighbor about the creature. He doesn't want to believe. Even with together with other people trying to convince him, he doesn't want to believe because he was very scared to accept that. It could have been very easy to go outside to the basement and check if that was true, but he didn't want to do that. So that's what's pretty irrational and curious.
So self-denial maybe is the thing there.
No, but it's hard to believe in something supernatural, supernatural. If I go to the shop now and my wife say, no, there are aliens, don't go there. What would I say?
But if you can check, you have the chance to check, I would check.
What if 10 people tell you, Yvonne, and they hold a bloody tentacle up and say, see, here's proof. Ah, ah.
Well, yes, it's more convincing, I would say. So I like bloody tentacles, so I would accept them. Yeah.
But basically his mindset was his belief cannot be changed. No matter what evidence, no matter what logic, no matter how many people are against him, he is stubborn, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if you were inside the store, which side would you be in, Miss Carmody or David? Leila, which
You
side
know
do you
the
choose?
answer. You know the answer.
Okay, so Leila will stay Miss Carmody still. Sergey, what about you?
No way. For sure, I would support David.
You're not sacrificing your own people, you're just sacrificing the enemy, the infidels.
Well, yes. Vasant, please. Sergey, please. Sorry.
Yes, and I'm sorry for off topic, but today we have the good examples of Mrs. Carmody in Russia. And one Russia priest shows a small video about the coronavirus, and he sent bad words for our government, for people who believe in coronavirus and who stop to go inside the church. And
Okay, so Price denied coronavirus, right?
yeah.
And criticized government because of solution to close all the churches.
Yeah. It looks like the similar situation with the Mrs. Carmody.
Yeah, you know, there are many fairy tales for children that somehow, if dragon or some beast came to your town, how to save? You have to send a virgin to him. Do you have this fairy tales? So when coronavirus came, you know, there were a lot of jokes about that. So we would better say send a virgin to this virus to save us. But there are no virgins anymore. You know? It was a funny joke, I believe. Vasant, please.
We are thinking about this question from the movie's perspective. What if the movie was made from the other perspective? You know, they just showed the film from the beginning, from the David's perspective. So what if it was from the Mrs. Carmody's perspective? So our answer might get changed.
No, nothing will change. Believe me, she's not normal.
Well, it depends, you know, because normal is something that don't exist. You know, moral is depending on
Yvonne,
how you
look,
see that.
if you looked at her face, her eyes, her hair, even her hands, her actions, I mean, she's a kind of woman who made me scared.
Okay, let me show you another example. You know, when we discussed in Telegram group this incident in Moscow when a praying guy stopped, you know, road and made a dangerous like circumstances, what some people say? Some people said, I wish I had the same faith as he has. So I will be so strong. I will be so dedicated to God. So no, it's all relative. It's all.
Yeah. You know, here, people were not the religious people were not allowed to go to the mosque and pray because of coronavirus. You can't imagine how many people forced the others to go to the mosque, and they say, we are really man, nothing will happen to us. I mean, just read. I said read and understand. They don't.
Yeah, I see. So it's
That's an interesting viewpoint of the Bible. Some people believe that God will take care of everything. You don't have to do anything. You just sit and God will protect you. But another part of the Bible says you have to help yourself first, and then God will help you. So there's two schools about God's help.
And there is an anecdote about this situation. You know, when a guy who was killed or got dead somewhere, someone, he is asking God, why didn't you help? Why didn't you help me? And God say, I send you a boat, I send you a helicopter, but you declined that help because you was waiting for something magical. So just just do what you want. Okay, Sergey, please.
Yes, and I thought about the Mr. Carmody and about Christ, and in outside the church when she started to declarate Bible, for example, yes, as a part of Matthew 72, and started to declarate, and she looks like very confident. And we can discuss now this, and I'm atheist, but I don't know how I started to behave me inside the abnormal situation with the understand. I can't understand what is this, what is the essence. I can't.
How it's called this trench that soldiers do in the front, you know? So they dig out these trenches to stay in. So just trench. Okay.
Trench is a ditch. A foxhole is round, and a trench is rectangular, straight line. Yeah.
So we have a Russian saying, and it says there are no atheists in trenches. So because in situation when the death is so far from you, you start to believe to something. You know, you start to.
When death is coming for you,
Yeah.
you start believing.
So we say there are no atheists in trenches and in prisons somehow. I don't know why. Probably the same. Okay. Okay. So we mentioned David, his neighbor. So what do you think? What happened to the neighbor of David? Is he dead?
You're talking about the guy on the rope?
Yep.
I thought half of his body came back.
No, I'm talking about his neighbor.
The black guy, the lawyer.
Was he black? I don't remember.
I thought that was Brent, wasn't it? No?
Okay, maybe.
Oh, Norton? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay,
at the end of the movie, some of the grocery store survivors were with the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the messages is if he had done nothing and stayed in the store and been passive, he might have been okay. But he decided to be active and help himself, and disaster happened. So an opposite message from God helps those that help themselves.
But do you remember the woman that went to seek for her children? He was safe.
Yep.
So she managed to, I don't know how, with all those creatures, to go at home and save his children.
She was fast, I guess.
Yeah, God helped her.
Yeah. Okay. How did the army manage to get rid of those monsters? How? Tell us. Just shooting them, yeah?
Yeah, they didn't show that. They didn't explain in that movie, you know? Because there was a lot of creatures. It's hard to kill them all, and they just in the end they just showed a fire. It looks like a firefighter, you know. They're just blowing fire on the spider's web, and it didn't seem to be enough for me. They didn't show much. Maybe the writer or the director didn't want to think too much to get rid of those monsters.
I think it's a good part of the movie. You know, they did not explain everything. So please imagine it yourself. You know how it happens. So we say they will survive. So that's all. Okay, if the spider's web is that much hot, why didn't the pharmacy burn? Actually, I don't remember this spider's web. So, Leila, do you remember?
No.
Me neither.
I don't.
The spider's thread, maybe. Thread, you mean? The thread.
The thread. it split the thread, and David just escaped from that dead thread. And when it falls on the floor, we could see that it's almost burning. You know, we could see the flames or something. So it implicates it's too hot, but the entire pharmacy is covered with that web, and nothing happened to that pharmacy. No fire or something.
Okay, and another one. Do you think, it's interesting one, but I cannot say I understand. Do you think that the people remained inside the store, deserved death, than the people inside the car? I don't know how to answer this.
Well, they put their faith in God, right?
Yep.
God will help us. We just stay here and God will help us. And he did.
But I'm talking about the people who killed that guy, you know, the innocent guy. So that's why I'm asking. Yeah. The soldier. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think they will not be punished. You know, somehow they will be. I don't know. People will say it was a hard circumstances. They lost their mind. I think I don't know. Probably it's everywhere the same. In our jurisdiction system, we have like some reasons that make your fates better and worse. So, for instance, if you were drunk, it means you will be punished more severely. If you was in the spur of the moment, you did not understand well, it will be, you know, a lighter for you. So probably it will be something like this. Usually, can you rephrase what I'm trying to say? So about this high.
Yeah, it's when you kill someone, there's different degrees of murder. If it's accidental, like a car accident, we call it manslaughter, and the punishment's not too much. If it's self-defense, someone breaks into your home and tries to rape you and you shoot them, that's justifiable, no punishment. But if the guy turns around and runs away and you shoot him in the back, bam, 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 that's murder because you didn't have to use deadly force. So the circumstances matter. Now, in this case, they stabbed the guy and threw him outside to be sacrificed. I think the family would have a good case in court that they need to pay for his life.
Well, it's all depend of jury, right? Of this.
Yeah, jury of your peers. I don't know. I'd have done the same thing. I'd have killed that guy too.
Okay, isn't convincing. So, did you believe the story? Right? That's the question. So, did they behave like a natural way? Sergey, what would you do? You know, in case of what was his name?
David.
David. Yeah.
I think it's a logical end of unlogical movie, but I think it's looks like a true. Because,
Okay. Okay. So you would do the same, right?
I don't know.
Happily. Let's say happily.
It's odd, but sometimes you can't know until you're in that situation because emotion and logic are fighting, you know, and religion too, you know. So I think in this case, David wasn't a religious person. So he decided there's no hope. There's no God. There's no rescue. We're doomed. Better to die now than be afraid for the next few hours until you die in terror, you know.
Lee, he can wait until the monster comes close and then kill everybody.
That's an option. Yeah.
And I was going to ask you something, Lee. We said logical. The opposite, isn't it illogical or unlogical?
But
illogical. Yeah.
I think what we can learn from this that you cannot think logically under the pressure. So even if you think I waited all the circumstances, I think logically, probably you don't. So better to, to postpone all this civil solution, I would say.
Yeah, and this is something that I've thought about. If we were in a zombie apocalypse, Layla, the whole world is dead, everybody's zombies, there's only a few humans here and there left in the whole world. And these movie stars, like Brad Pitt, they're trying so hard to survive. And my question is it worth it? You've got
Yeah.
a destroyed world. There's no food. There's no animals. There's no machines. There's no technology. You're just going to survive until you die alone. Is it worth trying hard to live? What's the point? Sometimes I wonder about that in these apocalypse movies where you're the last human on Earth, like I
Yeah,
Am
you're right.
Legend.
You're right.
Good question. Yeah. Gerard?
So
I was thinking in the times of the Cold War about nuclear apocalypse, those bunkers, so people could have food. Would be worth to live in such circumstances with all the world full of radioactivity and almost everybody there.
We've got people in America right now that are not having children because they don't want them to grow up in a world of climate change disaster. So they're predicting 30 or 40 or 50 years in the future saying, I don't want my child to be born now and live in that kind of a future. So I'm not going to have kids. Can you imagine that? Would you do
Strange.
that? Would
No.
you make that sacrifice for your kids?
Mhm.
No
It's,
kids.
it's interesting that we have baby boomers, right? Generation after the war, right? So people they look it in the eye of death and they decided, okay, now it's time to leave. So,
That's right. Hope, the sun's come out, have babies. And now it's like global warming is going to cloud the earth. Don't have babies. We're going to add to the problem. My baby will add to the carbon footprint of the planet. I can't do that. It's
But
crazy
But some
to
young
me.
people in Turkey, they're thinking the same.
But
They're afraid of having babies.
I just don't believe that it's a real reason. The real reason, I think, that because they are scared of responsibility of being parents
Sure,
and all
maybe,
these things.
maybe.
And they say, it's for sake of nature or something. I guess.
Well, when I had my children my kids were born in around 1980s. When I had my kids, I worried that in their future, which would be about now, when they're 30 or 40, I worried that we could have a World War III happen, and they could be living in a horrible world, like in Terminator. I actually thought about that when my kids were born. Am I bringing them into a world that in 50 years is going to be a horrible place to live? I thought about that, but I had them anyway.
Just prepare they well, teach to shoot, to reload the rifle, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, that child thing sounds illogical to me, because if you have the sympathy to an unborn child, that doesn't sound real. If they are already born, then that's okay, because you feel some connection towards them, and that's reasonable to think about the future, the apocalypse thing. But when they are not born, they are not yet born, then thinking about their future and all the sympathy, all the relationship, emotions, that doesn't feel convincing. I think they might have some other reason.
I just don't believe that human can, predict in a short term even. Who predicted coronavirus? Who predicted, the stopping of economy? So how we could do this? So everything is, changeable and changeable very fast. So just don't worry, So if Greta know about coronavirus, she would not go to UN, right? Why to bother? Economy is going to stop anyway.
That's right.
Okay, Gerard, you wrote T, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, if you have any questions about movie, it's time. Or we go to slides. Okay, let me share them. I already forgot how. Share. It doesn't work again. Let me try again. Every time Zoom is new for me. Okay.
By the way, I watched Extraction last night.
Extraction.
Netflix.
Okay, do you recommend it?
What was that about?
I mean, I liked it, Lee. It was about kidnapping a child and the man who wants to rescue him. It's great.
Okay.
I like it. It's a new film.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
see?
I hadn't heard of it. Okay. The Mist. Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to arrange
Yeah.
my windows.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, Mist with a bloody front.
I
Wow,
like
I like it. Vasant, well done.
Yeah. Have you drawn by yourself this picture?
No, I just made few slides and this title slide.
Mm-hmm.
The background was taken from Google, and I pasted this font on.
that. So it's
Leila,
a font for painters or serial killers.
Leila, would you go by this road?
If I
Only to
No,
the school, right?
if I saw this, I wouldn't,
Okay.
because it made me really scary.
Okay, let's start with this one. Sergey, could you?
So cute.
Oh, sorry, something wrong. I'm trying to restore the picture. Okay, this one.
Yeah, we can see.
Reminds me of Alabama
Why?
country. Simple life. I'm sorry.
I
Go
don't-
ahead.
I don't know about the territory of US, but I'm thinking, I don't know why, I'm thinking about Arkansas or Virginia. I don't know why.
Virginia, right?
Virginia, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we can see the lake and the coast of around the lake, and beautiful, but not beautiful, it's usual house. I think that it's not cheap house, and we have in the center of picture we can see the tree, and we can see a lot of part of tree, and some plastic chair for barbecue, and
For backyard, I guess, right?
yeah, for backyard for barbecue, and we can see the damaged basket, the special device for basketball.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basketball goal. Okay.
Yeah, and behind the lake we can see, I don't know how it's called. It's like a pontoon on special place for ships and for fishermen.
You know, if it will be in Russia, I would say that it could be a simple ancient device for how to say it, for it's a laundry. Sometimes we have such kind of a laundry inside of the lake. So it's a small pierce
Yeah.
and a house without a floor. So you can go there and wash your clothes.
Oh no, that one. This is it's a boat. It's a pier that goes out, and you have a little boathouse, a roof, and you can store your boat inside the roof. So you can go inside there, get in your boat, and you take your boat out onto the lake and go fishing. So that's like a little boat pier. You could also fish off the pier, away from the shore, so the water's a little deeper.
Okay, there was a word for this chairs for the backyard. It was like inflatable or something like this. Can we say so?
Probably folding lawn chairs is what I would call them.
Okay, anything else? What we missed?
Countryside. This is rural, away from the city.
Looks good. I would manage to live here for a couple of years.
Fresh water, fish, everything you need.
Yeah. Distance, forest,
Yeah.
fresh air.
Garden for vegetables. Yep.
Yeah. And look at the town. It's much different. Gerard, please describe this one.
Here we can see on the right side the guy, like you said, a motorbike,
Biker, right?
biker.
Biker. Yep.
We can see also the soldier that was killed in the middle. Scales, weighing scales. The cash, the till, calculator. What more? Bags, paper bags to put the groceries inside.
So back then you already had paper bags, right? We still use plastic.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
America,
we've
you
gone to
use-
plastic now, but in the old days we had brown paper bags.
Good for Greta would like it.
Mhm.
Okay, so biker has a
Leather jacket,
leather jacket and
bandana.
bandana. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay, and a little bit messy, I would add. So,
Yeah.
but I like this scales on the picture. We had them on street markets sometimes.
Yeah, we use that to weigh fruits and vegetables. You pay by the weight.
Yep, Sergey.
I have a question, teacher Lee, and in the start of movie, we have us Oli work as a man who packed packed food in the pockets. Some people work now as an Oli.
Is it still exists this job? To pack in someone pockets, bags, right?
Oh, yeah, we call them baggers. They'll bag your stuff. At some stores, they'll even carry it to the car for you. If you're an old person, they'll even carry your bags to the car for you.
Why?
If you're an old person, you can't lift weight. You can't lift heavy bags. A courtesy. It's just a courtesy. But if you're
Also,
young, if you're
for
young,
them,
like, huh?
we give them tips.
You can tip them if you want to. Sometimes they'll say, don't tip the bag boys. It's a free service. They don't want you to feel obligated or guilty or wonder how much to tip. So sometimes you don't tip them. But someone like me, if I look like I'm able to walk with no problem, they won't carry my groceries out. But if you're a little old woman and you're walking real slow, they'll carry your bags out for you. So
I
it's
pretend.
and
they
if you're a woman with skinny arms, they might help you.
Gerard, it must be even better in Spain, right?
Mhm. I wanted to tell you that in America it looks like people working in front of the till, so all the time are standing up. In Europe, they have a chair they can sit while working.
Yeah, I don't know why. Our cashiers always have to stand, always.
Quite
Yeah.
stupid, poor people.
Strange.
So they don't go to sleep, I guess.
Well, and speaking about bag boys, Sergey, I remember that in Spain, I have seen that many times, that people just came to the shop and say, I'm going to cook this and that. Please deliver all that to my flat, and then go out. So they just don't choose it. They just say what was they going to cook. That's all. I don't know, maybe because I live it in a small village, that's why.
Was it free?
Yeah, free.
Wow.
It's strange. It's quite strange for me.
Because we are living in Russia, no service at all. It's our motto, no service, do it by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. Vasant, please describe this one.
Yes, here is David and few other shoppers are discussing. We can see the shop. Is that a cashier? Yes,
Yeah.
a cashier. Okay. Then they are sitting in the aisle, right? Is that an aisle?
Aisle.
Okay, aisle. You could see a lot of products. I think there's a chocolate. Is that a chocolate on the left?
Vasant, have you noticed the toilet paper already out?
Ah, yeah.
No time to react. It's probably still full. Looks like maybe crackers on the right. I can't tell.
It looks like a department of something chemical to me.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I can't read. On the left, those yellow cans, we have a brand of sugar called Domino's.
Mhm.
So on the left, you can see some Domino sugar.
Okay, good.
So that's real life. Yeah. That's probably cooking oil up there. I don't know what all that stuff is.
I noticed the interesting moment. Nobody bought the toilet paper. Strange.
Yes, strange. Yeah, now we know how to behave well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Leila, what is happening on this picture?
I don't remember.
Me neither. So let's just invent something.
I think there's
Okay.
a monster sitting on the exhaust pipe on the roof. So the gas can't go out.
I don't really remember this scene, but I can see a guy on the left trying to blow, or no, he's trying to clean his mouth, I think.
He's covering his mouth.
Oh, okay, he's
From the
covering his
smoke,
mouth.
yeah.
I can see the gas coming out, right? It's
Yep.
a kind of mist as well. Engine exhaust. Okay, like the
So-
car exhaust, right?
Yep. So it's CO2. You can't breathe it. That's why he's covering his mouth.
Is it David's on the left?
Think so. I think he went back to check on the generator. He started it, but this exhaust is supposed to go through a pipe out the roof. But
Okay.
something on the roof is blocking the pipe, so the exhaust is coming inside the building.
Okay.
So that's a problem. Yeah. So he said somebody's got to go outside and go up on the roof and unclog the pipe. Well,
Okay.
we don't want to go
Me.
outside.
me, tell me this.
Yeah.
So through the mist, I can see a kind of fence or something like that.
Chain link fence.
Yeah, fence, right.
Yeah.
Could be somewhere just secured or maybe confined, limited. Not everybody can go in,
To lock up the generator. Yep. So you don't get hurt.
right. That's all, Livon.
Yeah, good, thank you. Okay, let's go forward. Let me describe. I don't remember actually what they're looking for. Probably on this piece of tentacle.
This is the stubborn guy,
This is the loading dock
right?
where a big 18-wheel truck can back up and unload supplies.
Mm-hmm.
We can see a wooden pallet the blue guy is standing on top of.
Mm-hmm. Pallet, okay. Wooden pallet. A lot of different supplies, something called Jiffy, or probably it's a trademark. Some
Yeah, that's a
shelves.
brand of peanut butter.
Okay. Okay, some wooden shelves on the left and metal shelves on the right, I guess. Full of something. I don't know what. Okay, and people, they are watching, they are, I don't know, looking on something, and I suppose because of this, their face expression, it's something, interesting, let's say.
Ivan,
Yeah.
it could be the backyard door, the roll down door, right?
Correct. They're looking outside. They're looking at the roll down door.
Mm-hmm. Roll down door.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, not too much here. So how we call this red things? This kind of what's the guy on the in the front
Apron,
says?
apron.
Apron. Okay.
Apron. Yep.
Apron.
Apron.
Okay. We use them on our kitchens. Aprons. Aprons. Okay. That's all. Anything else?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Gerard is very observant.
But because I saw the movie, I watched the movie.
No, I saw the movie as well, Gerard.
Okay. Oh,
look.
this black guy. Yeah, remember him. Sergey, please describe this.
Yeah, we can see two people, two neighbors who discussed about what should we do in this situation. And David tried to explain the octopus living, but Brent didn't trust him. And we can see the table with a lot of type of drinks, bottle of water, milk, maybe.
Let me ask Ticheli, is it a promotion table or something? Like trying to advertise something?
It might be, yeah. Sometimes they'll give out food samples.
Yeah.
It might be. Yeah,
So
normally
far-
we wouldn't have a table sitting there, so it might be a sample table or,
Okay, sample table. Okay, thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, we can see a lot of shelves with spaghetti and
Spaghetti noodles,
with,
okay.
with pasta. Yeah, and door with special device for air heating system above the door, above the glass door.
Okay,
Mm,
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would call
yeah.
that a deflector vent, maybe.
deflector, okay.
Blows the air downward, yeah.
So it's a forms the stream of the air, right?
Right, instead of coming straight out, that directs the air downward. So it forms a blanket between the cold air and the hot air inside the store and outside.
I see. Good.
On the left side, we can see the shelves with Sweetie before shop assistant. When can you stay in the queue? You
Queue,
could put some a queue. You could put some Sweetie in your basket.
Yeah, some random products. Yeah, before.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Twinkies.
Chewing gum.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Well, it's almost the same. Let's find something terrible. Okay, Gerard, please.
Here we can see David and a woman fighting against a creature like a pterodactyl, a little bit smaller. And they throw some inflammable liquid. I think the one they use to fuel lighters.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a mop. I think it was a mop. They put from fire to the mop and they burn the creature. And there is a barrier of fertilizer, fertilizer bags to stop the creatures because the windows are only made with glass, so they are fragile. And all of them, one guy is dead, already dead, lying. I don't know how is this posture, lying
Supine or stomach down.
Stomach down. Okay, what more? We see the vegetable section of the supermarket.
Vegetables, yeah.
Yes, this guy, is it Oli on the front? He has a
Rake.
Some rake.
Right.
Like take.
One of the shop assistants that I think they were allied with David.
Mm-hmm.
At least at this moment, I think the one on the left side changed the side, supported Mrs. Carmody.
Yeah. She was convinced by
She was convincing, yes, because one creature like was about to attack her, but the creature didn't bite her, so it looked like it was a revelation.
Okay, good.
Okay, you can see that there's two cash registers. They have a number 1 and a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So someone can say, no waiting on number 2.
Wow.
You can see that the counter, the checkout counter, has a white part that does not move and a black part that's a rubber conveyor belt that does move.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we have the same in Russian supermarkets, and there are small funny rules. Sometimes there are only one cashier opened, but if there is a queue with 5 and more persons, they open the next one. if
Yeah.
there's queue again, they open the next one. So it's all
Yeah.
depend of the queue,
Yeah.
how many people waiting.
Yep. Register 3's open. You go in Walmart. Walmart's got like 20 cash registers,
Mhm.
and you got like 2 people working, and the lines are real long, and people are saying, "Open another cash register."
Sergey, please.
Yes, I have a questions in Russian supermarkets. Have the funny rules when the shop assistant makes the mistakes. She can't to cancel the mistakes.
Yeah.
She have to call the shop
Super-
assistant boss.
Supervisor.
Lucia!
Supervisor.
Lucia!
Call the
Yeah, and
manager, and everybody
Yeah.
waits.
Yeah. Okay, so it's international. Okay. We saw it's only in
Uh,
Russia, this stupid thing. Okay. So
Yeah, okay.
I always think it's encourage people to, to say, okay, forget the mistake. Let's go.
Yeah. Your credit card's declined. Try this one. It's declined. Try this one. Just pay cash. You're holding up the line. Oh, it's
Yeah.
frustrating. Yeah.
Okay. Nice one, right?
That guy's ugly.
Yeah. Vasant, please describe this one. What is this? I don't know. A scorpion and flying scorpion, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like scorpion, but it is somehow a mutation of a mosquito. How to say that? A crossbreed of mosquito and scorpion, I think.
Looks like a giant wing. Yeah, scorpion with wings or something. That's weird looking.
A mutated one, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's got chameleon eyes. The eyes can go in different directions.
Yeah. Do you remember the last movie about mutating about this zone area? So it's kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
Everything
Mutated
combined.
plant animals. Ugh.
Yeah.
If this creature bite her, and the soldier's life would have been saved. I think this creature is on Mrs. Carmody.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You can see the scorpion, I can see the breast.
She looks down and goes, "Oh my God!" Oh Jesus.
Okay. Okay. So what we can discuss is insects. They have legs, or how we call it, instead of tentacles or legs. What insect has?
Just legs, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, just legs and wings and how we
Scorpion tail.
call their like I don't know, like shells, how we call their skin.
Yeah, the shell. For insects, we call their outside an exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton.
Their
Okay.
skeleton's actually on the outside, and the soft parts are on the inside.
Yep.
For us, the bones are on the inside, and the soft parts are on the outside.
Yeah, very different. Okay, another creature. Let's keep it. Okay. Leila, do you like this picture?
I know. As soon as I saw sweet Ollie, you said you were going to say Leila. This is the moment when he shot the stupid woman. Right? Am I
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Or is he shooting to the insect? I'm not sure.
Okay, choose whatever you want.
The woman.
It was only
Okay.
he had 4 bullets left, so he only shot 2 bullets because he had 4 left at the end.
Mhm.
Anyway, when you look at his physical appearance, you can say that he's that much brave. And
Okay.
I thought about it like that. And then suddenly he said that he had a kind of record, he broke the record when the shooting is concerned. So he's a good shooter, and if it was the scene of the lady's dying scene, he shot the woman on her head between his eyes, right?
We say if you're an excellent aim, we say right between the eyes.
Right. It was a good death for her. I'm happy.
That's right. Honorable death. That's right.
Yes. The
Okay.
people behind him look scared, and I can feel that they're tense. And the woman with a cap, and he's wearing glasses with white beard. He was looking anxiously, and the woman next to him is worried as well. And as you can say, there's the shelf behind them because this is a supermarket.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what about his, Oli facial expression? What he's saying?
I love it. Determined, brave, and he's not scared.
Yeah.
He is
Decisive.
trusting himself. He's self-confident.
Self-confident. Okay. Okay. Very good. I like this. Okay. Let me finish with this picture. Okay. I just want to say that it's an X in his arm, and it's we call it fire X. How
Fire. I call it the fireman's axe. It's red.
Yeah, fire. And we can see this spire. How we call it?
Spear.
Spear. It's made of a knife and something
Duct
like
tape.
that.
Here.
Duct tape, yeah, and a stick. Okay, so these guys are going to have a battle. it looks so.
They're loaded for bear.
Yeah.
They're ready to go hunt bear.
Yeah. So why fire crew needs this X? What do you think?
Anyone? Why would firemen have an axe?
Leila, what do you think?
If somebody is in a burning building, and if there are some obstacles, in order to break them, I think, to reach the people who need help.
Yep, exactly. So to remove some obstacles in case if you need it, and in case of danger, you would not to have to be gentle, right? You have to demolish it immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop on this. We almost ran out of time, and it was a nice class, nice movie. Thank you very much. And
Thank
see
you.
you next week.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye-bye, Sergey.
Bye. And
Bye-bye.